lots of new news, and that's a good thing. Geopolitics has a major, and especially in 2022, major impact on both the traditional markets and also the future of finance. Putin, right? He went right down to the country of the mullahs. Allahu Akbar. He went down there, and you know what? It seemed to me that some of the Western media, they were quite surprised that, was he going there looking for a new ally? Was he going down there looking for a new friend? Because, the rest of the world, they don't like him. I don't know, but we are going to talk about that. And I just want to show you this here. Look at this. Is he getting strong support from Iran? Now, this picture was supposedly taken yesterday, but no. Back in 2018, Putin and President Hassan Rouhani, Russia was there to tell Iran that they were supporting Tehran's full membership in the organization, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, 2018. It looks like they have been soul brothers for quite a while. So these are the things we're going to talk about, and we got to get this started. And I think it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. In case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then do me a favor. Please hit like, smash, subscribe, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos. So that you can, and this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Harachi, and I am number one. Yeah, level of market manipulation. We need to look where the markets are. I'm spending too much time these days trying to understand what's going on from a geopolitical point of view. Anyway, BTC up 0.13. That's not a lot, right? But 23,571. And we're looking at Cardano at 49 cents on the dollar, down 4%. We can see DOT is down 4% as well. And Ethereum at $1,546, down 1.8%. So what we're basically seeing is, as always, my time here, we can see there was, it went down a little and then up. Hasn't been any specific news, right? But it is, the reason why I always show you these 4 charts in the beginning is because I want you to see that there are patterns. Patterns in a good way, patterns in a bad way. You see, you can see the big 4 there exactly at this time of the hour. They're all going down and then they're all reversing up. I mean, as I've said many times, this is not you and I don't know how many other retail investors around the world that just thought exactly at that moment that we were going to sell, and then exactly at another moment we're going to buy up. It just goes to show that this is still a very small market, and it is easy to manipulate a market if you got big pockets. Now, the question is, how long is this trend going to go on? And every day we will look at the weekly because it has proven, at least there's some trends here. What are we seeing here in this week, and what do we have? No, we do have Wednesday today, right? Thursday. Where I am, and Wednesday, the day closed. We are in the midweek, right? In the midweek, and we can see Bitcoin has now, and this is quite exciting. It is quite exciting because not many times did we're looking at the weekly chart. Did it actually break through the 7-day moving average? And when it has, it looks like we could go to the other side. And that other side could be an uptrend. Now, I also know, it is very difficult to say. And I know there are many others, they are claiming, from other analysts and content providers and people that know shit about crypto just like you and I. But the sentiment is kind of positive, but again, it's not. We gotta wait and see. I think we have to see how we're gonna close this week. Are we gonna close above the 7-day moving average? Well, then there perhaps could be further upturn. Again, it is hard to say, and I'm not here to predict it on a short term. With Ethereum, however, we can see it looks a little clearer that it's taking off. But if we go back here to March, right, when Ethereum broke through the 7-day, so we can see right here on the 14th of March, Ethereum had a similar candle, closed above the 7-day moving average, then had 2 weeks where it did, a lot of goodies, gave a lot of hope you know, false hope. We don't want this. And then in the end of the day, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know, 11 or 12. The longest losing streak, right? And that was hurting. But at least after, you can see it was pretty clear what happened. It broke through. It was a good week. Then that week, it was just above the 7-day moving average. Again above. And then 2 weeks later, we can see here it closed below. And then it went down again. Now, you know, this is very simplistic. And I know a lot of you really want to know how it is to day trade and short-term trade. And I have to say again, I'm not always talking about traders' reality because, he pays me. He doesn't pay me shit. No. But Tino, what I like about, he really understands what is moving the market. But not only when it refers to market manipulation, he very much understands to take in factors from every aspect of the financial industry. That's why if you want to learn about how these candles are coming together and that there is some kind of pattern, system, Wyckoff, what do I know? I don't know, but Tino knows. So if you want to know more about that, you go over and say hi. So what do we have here? It is, well, we are holding, we're above the 1 trillion market cap. That's nice, good to see. I know if you follow me, then you know that it's always nice to see green, but I don't think we are out of the bush yet. That's why we need to talk about those political, geological events, what's going on. It is funny though, you can see it kind of like a trend. Most of it is down between 4 and 6%, right? So we can see channeling 4 to Stellar, Lumens, V, between, I guess, up to 8%, but a lot of them, then we got, Phantom almost 6, Graph 6, Chili 6, Curve 6, Basic Attention 6, Silica 5 point something. So almost 6 to CeeLo, Compound 6, 6 to 1 inch, 6 to Gala, only 2.4, 6 to Cadena, and then 4 to Audius, 7 to Serum. 6 to Moonbeam. Why am I pointing this out? I'm pointing this out because this also looks to me like it is just a part of the manipulation. It seems to me that there are some people behind the curtain that basically holds a certain percentage of each coin, and when they sell, and when they buy, they buy. And that's why it's more or less always the same weighting. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to have such high correlation on so many different individual coins. I think it's important that we understand which protocols are good. It's good to identify the market leaders of tomorrow. It's good to know, that we don't buy shit coins. Forget about shit coins. Shit coins, they're out. That's yesterday's news, right? So once we have identified a good amount of market leaders, as you can see below, scrolling here, then it is more important to understand where is the market going and how is it being influenced. And I think that's where I've been pretty good. And that's what I'm trying to share. So, time it is to go in and talk about the news. It is the most important part, but I always feel like, it's the boring part. So, the first thing, very dry. UK inflation hits a 40-year high of 9.4 as cost of living crisis deepens. Now, I am very convinced that it's much higher than 9.4%. But hey, these are official numbers and they are bad. I mean, that's bad enough. If the government doesn't lie, the government always tells the truth. But in this case, even the truth, if it is the truth, is bad enough. So that's another thing where we are, I believe we are close to the fiat monetary system has to implode. And whenever, we have these 100-year cycles where in the past, history, where we have these fiat systems, and they kind of mathematically, you can kind of push them to around 100 years, but then you need something new. And I think we are in this make or break time in our lives. CBDC regulation, that's a lot of, we've got to talk about CBDCs. Remember, you go to Atlantic Council and then you can track the development of the global central bank digital currency development. And the first country we're going to talk about is India. because India, they are in the process of implementing the CBDC, and they're saying they're going to do it in a phased manner for wholesale and retail segments. Now, again, if you come here, once in a while and we do this together, then you will know that the CBDC, let's say, they are trying to differentiate between wholesale and retail, right? That's basically the two segments that's going to be in the future of finance. So India's official digital currency is likely to debut by early 2023. Now remember, I really do think that we're going to see the low by the end of the year. I do think we could go down a little bit more, right? You never know when the bottom has been reached. But I do think that the Web 3.0 2023 is the year where we are going to see a unity among all the global governments implementing this lovely thing called the CBDC. So anyway, what they're saying here is that by early 2023, it's likely to be introduced, and it will mirror any of the currently available private company-operated electronic wallets. However, the Indian digital rupee will be a sovereign-backed digital currency. Sovereign-backed, right? That sounds good. Sovereign-backed. That's like so. Just tell me, what is it backed by then? Can you tell me? It's sovereign. Okay. Now, that sounds good. Well, that's basically the same what the dollar is backed by, or the euro, right? I mean, it's not like back prior to the 70s when we had a gold back, the greenbacks, right? That were backed by gold. No, now they are backed by, I don't know, by faith or prayer, hope. Anyway, next piece of news is our good friend from the Bank for International Settlements. Remember, the managing director, Gustav. Right? I love him, right? I mean, he has to do something about that weight, but he's always tired. Anyway, so he was saying today that he was calling out, I think it's maybe 2 days ago, he was calling out for all countries around the world to develop, and I wanted to point this out because this is important, to develop interoperable CBDCs. Now, just remember, interoperability, it took me a while to actually be able to say that. And when you think, I don't know if you can say it, interoperable, what does interoperable mean? It simply means that you have blockchains, you have coins, cryptocurrencies, where you can transfer them from one blockchain to the other. And if there's one specific protocol that's been talking all about interoperability, I think it's Gavin Wood from Polkadot. Don't underestimate the power of the dots. So what Carsten here, our good friend, he's saying, CBDCs, they can be used across borders. So they issued a report to the G20, and it was not only by Carsten here from the Bank for International Settlements, which is the mother of all central banks, right? It was also the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And we know who runs the International Monetary Fund, right? That is sweet Sister Kristalina. Anyway, so what they're saying is that interoperable CBDCs, they can solve many cross-border payments problems, including high costs and slow speeds, and improve inclusions, right? And then furthermore, we don't have a little video of her, Christine Lagarde, who is the president of the European Central Bank. She also came out and said a digital euro could be an anchor for the whole payment system. So we're really seeing that everyone, across the board, World Bank, Bank for International Settlements, European Central Bank, International Monetary, for everyone, and the Indian rupee, they are all implementing for a future or a new monetary system. There's all not so many cryptocurrency news besides, well, CBDC regulation is crypto news. But we spoke about this yesterday, but it is really important. The French bank BNP Paribas is entering the cryptocurrency custody space with a partnership with Swiss digital safekeeping firm Metaco. And BNP Paribas, they actually have almost $13 trillion dollars in assets under custody. Now, not with Metaco yet, but what this shows is this is one of the bottlenecks that we need. Remember, the crypto market, we are all very early, very, very early, right? Very early. So when are we really going to see mass adoption? Well, we're going to see mass adoption once we're going to see traditional enterprises, companies, banks, call them what you want, once they are migrating onto the blockchain. And what they are doing now is that they are setting up the technicalities, in order to work, operate on the blockchain. So if you already have some coins in the right pocket, in the left pocket, in the back pocket, this is good news for everybody. Now we're going to go into, before we're going to go into the main news, all them geopolitical things, we got to have a nice moment because sharing is caring. Please do me a favor and participate in this little, we do pay out, maybe not on time, but everybody gets, and if we're too late, then we pay out double. All you got to do is have a compatible BUSD wallet and participate, and I think you got to hit like, smash, and subscribe, and I don't know, some things like that. Do me a favor, and while you're at it, please give me a like, because we are the littlest channel on the interweb. That's how that goes. We shouldn't call it Ukraine and Russia news anymore. We should call it geopolitical global news. Now, the first piece is obviously, I don't know if you want to consider this good news or bad news, but we saw Russia's president flying first class all the way down to Iran, the home of the mullahs. And today it was announced, not because everybody thought it was about those drones, right? That Russia would purchase some drones from Iran. But we actually today saw that the national Iranian oil company, and don't forget, I'm half Persian, right? My dad is from Iran, so I'm actually half Iranian, half Danish. Doesn't mean I've never been to Iran, but I thought you wanted to know. So, and Russian gas producer Gazprom, they signed yesterday a memorandum of understanding worth 40 billion. Funny enough, 40 billion is what, until now, maybe almost 41 billion is what America spent on helping Ukraine in their fight against Russia. So you could think about it. Would it be better to spend those? Just remember, I'm not pro-Russian, and I'm not pro-Iran, and I'm also not pro-America. All I'm pro is pro-peace and a little bit of money in the pocket. But isn't it better spend 40 billion on investing in resources that we all need, right? No money, no honey, no cash, no gas, and no power, no flour, right? But so I would rather spend those 40 billion on trying to extract something that we all need, instead of spending America's tax dollars on a war that they anyway you maybe win, I don't know, but it's just gonna keep going. I think it's better spent. But nevertheless, Gazprom, they're going to help NEOC in the development of the Kish and North Pass gas fields, and also 6 other oil fields. And the Gazprom will also be involved in the completion in liquefied natural gas projects and construction of gas export pipelines. I mean, this is a big project, 40 billion. And in case you didn't know it, Iran, they're sitting on the world's second largest gas reserves after Russia. But US sanctions have hindered access to technology and slowed development of the Persian Empire being able to distribute that gas. So the thing is, I mean, if there's some around mainstream media, they were of course saying, yeah, Russia, they got excluded, and I mean, he has to fly all the way down to the mullahs, and that's the only place that I will answer, do some Q&A right after this. They said that, Iran is the only place that Putin, he can get some recognition and whatever. As I pointed out in the beginning, this was yesterday. Putin, he's getting strong support from Iran, but as not only then. In 2018, they were also sitting together, soul brothers. And that was the time when the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which is founded by China, Russia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and some other stan, but now also has Pakistan, India, and Iran. And that's a big organization, and nobody in the mainstream media talks about it. But I will also tell you that I was coincidentally in Beijing the day that Putin, he was going there, not to see me, but he was going there to see the Chinese president. And I can tell you the city was lit up. I mean, they were welcoming him like, Michael Jackson back in the day. So it is in that part of the world where the Shanghai Cooperation Organization obviously is, there they really speak a lot about it. But in the Western media, they do not speak about it. So moving on to some not so nice things regarding Ukraine and Russia. And that is that today the foreign minister Lavrov, he came out and said Ukraine could now expand beyond the Donbas region. And I want to point out, so if we look here at the map, it might not be so important to you, but it is important because I'm also still living here, right? Now, you can see the mouse. Now, it's let me just see here. That's the best map we got, but I'm around here, right? So I'm around 1,000 kilometers away from all this, right? Ukraine is actually a big country. So what is happening, and they kind of wanted to keep it here, right? So Russia has already taken this part, but now they came out and today and said the following, is that if the West or NATO is going to keep pumping Ukraine with arms, like the US-made high-mobility artillery rocket systems, then that means that the geographical tasks will extend further from the current line. So now it's different, and what they're basically saying is that they will have to take a bigger part of Ukraine because they they cannot allow the part of Ukraine that Zelensky wants to control to have weapons that will pose a direct threat to their territory and the territory of those republics that have declared their independence. I am pointing this out also because I think it would be better for everyone if this war would stop. We don't need no more bombs. We really don't. And I think that this has gotten into a proxy war. Obviously it is, right, between NATO and Russia. And it's not even really about the Ukrainians anymore. It's about you and I. Because everything that is now, how it's playing out with all this geopolitics is almost like, this getting ready for some real nasty trouble. However, also Putin yesterday said that, in Iran, that the Ukrainians, they didn't want to negotiate and it's going to get worse. So I really need to leave this weekend. The European Commission were also coming out and saying, I don't even know who she is, but anyway, Russia is blackmailing the EU, and EU is asking member states to ration energy as Russia is tightening their grip on gas supplies. So the plan asked the 27 EU nations to cut their gas consumption by 15% between August the 1st, 2022 and 31st of March, 2023. That's going to be a cold-ass winter in Europe. And this plan comes as Russia's energy giant Gazprom claims it cannot fulfill gas contracts with the bloc. Well, we've also, I don't really know, we heard different things today. I'm just saying it's been many years since in the European Union that we had to cut back on our gas consumption. Now, it's not clear that everybody's going to say that they want to, because now they need the entire European Union bloc to agree with that. But there are different things, because each country here, and I don't know, that are actually receiving gas from Russia, they have different reserves, right? So I think Germany has something around 40% reserves, so they really need to cut it down. But Poland, they have above 90% gas reserves, so they don't really need to save on gas this winter at least. It is important. Let's see how that's gonna play out with the gas. And that's it. That's all I got to say about that. So now let's go in and see if anybody has a questions and maybe talk a little about crypto. Well, I'm all up for that. Let's have a Bahama Mama moment though. Tiger Man, we love you. We love Ukraine. I mean, I love everybody. I love you too, Tiger Man. So, Stoffel, you're asking me, are you also accumulating Launchpad coins too? That's a good question, Stoffel, because I think if you're new to this channel, you might not know, but there was a time here, last year when gaming coins was a big thing, and Launchpads was a big thing, and I was running that almost on a daily. Let's go in and actually have a look at that portfolio. That might even be interesting, so you can see for yourself. Now, at the time, we were very quickly. We had the best categories in most of the Launchpads, and of course now when everything has gone down so much, you can pick up those Launchpad coins like Gamify and Red Kite. And whatever they're called, Engine Starter, I forgot it almost. They are, of course, damn cheap now. Damn cheap. And I was yesterday looking at the gaming portfolio. And this gaming portfolio was at its highest. I think, let's go in and have a look at that, where it was at the highest. All, can we go all? Gaming IGOs. Well, it was certainly higher than 80,000. Well, maybe... I gotta look into that, how we did it. I cannot remember really. But I mean, at the point we made a ton of money. And these are the coins that we participated, where we got access to. Now, the only one, we got Blocktopia. Blocktopia helped us all gaming IGO season. That's still up 8,000%. But now look at all the other. And that's Luxy down 56%. And these are IGO or ICO prices, right? So they are down from the ICO price. Luxy, 56%. I'm just going to say 8%, 28%. Polygon online is up 18%. Besides that, we can see 44%, 92, 68, 75, 60, 65. There's a plus 12. Down, one rare down 79. Actually, I think one rare could be a good metaverse for food. Then we got 77 for Dreams Quest. Shop Next, 750. I mean, you can just see 80%, 60%, 85%, 87%. No, there's one up, but 9%, 93%, 61%, 87%, okay, so 89%, 86%, 87, 92, 94, 70, 85, 92, 98, 92, 93, 96, 96, 94, 67, 85, 95. I think you get the point. So the question is, it's a good question, Stoffel. It's a very good question. When I look back at that venture, I made very good money by buying the coins from the platforms that were launching them. That's where I made the money. I don't know, I made 300,000-400,000. Not me, I own nothing but Kitty. And all these coins here I've been holding. I still hold them, or Kitty still holds them. And Kitty is hoping that one day, one of these are going to turn into a miracle. So we made the money on the platform. So it's a good question. I haven't bought them because I think I got a lot, but I think there's potential, because once we're going to see the next cycle, obviously these platforms are going to play a role. So probably not a bad investment if we look at how we made it. PokerStarter is at 50 cents, exactly. And PokerStarter has kept its good reputation. You see, that's also a problem from not this cycle, but the past cycle there from 17, 18, and not when it was just ICOs and not gaming. Doc or whatever it's called, DocStarter really got, they really, F people. So nobody they made a lot of money, but they spoiled their reputation. PokerStarter has not spoiled its reputation. So you got to be selective in which platforms. So what do you say? Yeah, that was John. And then Dylan Bromley, TrustSwap is only 20. Yeah, TrustSwap, I think TrustSwap is not so trustworthy. Actually, when I think about TrustSwap, when I think about DocStarter, you know what I think about? I think about the shit list, I don't know if you guys knew, but we actually had a shit list here. And here you can see PokerStarter. No, they shouldn't be there anymore. Jack's Wallet, your wife, my wife. But TrustSwap is there, and DocStarter. Just so we got that out of the way. I don't like TrustSwap, and I don't like DocStarter. If I were to invest now, because it's so low, yeah, PokerStarter, Red Kite, Gamify, Engine Starter, and of course CDeFi. Probably those were the ones that I would go for. Anyway, Dominic, we are the smallest, littlest channel on the interweb. Please give me some love and some likes. And that's it. That's all I got to say about today. Stay safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's young, he's handsome, he's a prophet, he's a poet. They know it.